welcome. Hello, everybody. Guys, as you can see, this is what we're going to talk about. This increase again of petrol, the price of fuel across the country. As you guys can see, the press release. This government, they're playing with the people. This petroleum area, we know, of course, Cashbox is going to join me and we're going to talk more about this. But we know this is a ploy to continue to exploit the people of Sierra Leone. These guys, when they were in opposition, they had all these, they talked the big talk. You take, of course, I'm going to show you guys a video of Francis Kaifala just now, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, the petrol, the prices of fuel across Sierra Leone when Francis Kaifala was in opposition, because you all know these guys were SLPP. So they cared about all these issues then, but until now, when they're in power, they don't care no more. You don't hear Francis Kaifala coming here and tell us about, Renaissance man, about people wearing black and all that stuff. I'm going to show you guys that video because the reason I want you guys to understand, if you guys remember when Sierra Leone government of President Anisbai Nkrumah announced austerity measures, and I'm going to share with you guys, some of what these guys, actually wrote, about the government. People like the Julius and all of these folks, when the government was honest with the people of Sierra Leone to announce about austerity measures. Austerity simply means semifambulem. As Papanaos, as an example, Tin Tranga, you say, what, Tin? We will cook 5 cup rice. But today, what we're going to do is, we're going to reduce that 5 cup rice there at least to 2 cup. Because Tin don't hanga, work difficult and all that stuff. That is what austerity means. And that's what happened at Sierra Leone during the days of the APC, and this was, after the Ebola and all of that stuff, right? These things happened. But again, the amount of funding that this SLPP government has received with this COVID, and we know, say, the Ebola, you cannot even compare it to COVID. We saw people dying of the Ebola. Over 4,000 people lost their lives of Ebola, right? These COVID funds, these guys, they got so many millions of dollars, but nothing reflected to the people. So that is why we're going to talk about the increase of the price. In as much as we know it's a racketeering thing, and it's a scheme organized by these guys to thief, continue to thief the people of Sierra Leone. That is what they're doing, and that is why they have, they continue to increase this price, because again, this government has no other source of raising revenue, but all they're doing now is increase this price, because what is happening is, and I want you guys to pay attention, Sierra Leoneans, what they've done is increase the tariffs and the taxes on people in that country. Businesses are closing down, and these petroleum companies, of course, they have to make some amount of profit, and the government is taxing them. And so at the end of the day, who's going to feel the pinch? It's the ordinary people. Now, that is why you guys see this, what I'm putting on the screen here for you guys, so you guys can see again that there's another increase. And this is about the 4th time, if I'm not mistaken, the 3rd or the 4th time that they've increased prices of fuel. But when the APC, I think, only increased prices once, and they announced austerity measures, I'm going to show you a couple of, articles to that effect. But again, like I said, what I want to do is, play a video of Francis Kaifala again, who's the current anti-corruption commissioner in Sierra Leone. What he said under the former government of President Anisbai Nkrumah, and I want you guys to be the judge. I want you guys to be the judge. Welcome, Cashbox. I want you guys to be the judge, so that we can say, okay, where is Francis Kaifala, and what sort of questions are we going to ask for him? But this is what I want to show you guys before we even start with anything. I'm going to, welcome Cashbox shortly, but let me put this on the screen for you guys, because I want you guys to see this. This is the meaning of austerity, the word itself, austerity, what it means. And I want you guys to see this, and then we can start to hold that conversation. So I want you guys to check this out, so you guys can see. Because, we're not just coming here to make these things up or just say stuff because we want to say them. Guys, let me put what austerity means there. Extreme plainness and simplicity of style or appearance. Now manage, cut your cost according to your size. That is what austerity means. And Cashbox, on that note, I'm going to welcome you now. Let you tell the family, Madu. We can break down this whole thing about the increment in the prices of fuel. And like I would say, we make them very simple for the audience, make it very simple for Sierra Leoneans out there, because we want them to understand that what is actually happening is the fact that these guys, with Kashi, hear me? I'm hearing myself in the back.
Can you? I can hear you fine, actually.
Okay. Okay, it's not okay. I'm not getting that revamp. Okay, good. But yeah, Cashbox, you know, then we can break down to the people. I just show them now the meaning of austerity, Cashbox, because let people understand what this SLPP did to us. I want them to understand what they did to Sierra Leoneans when they were making propaganda, lying about everything. I want them to see it. This is austerity, sternness or severity of manner or attitude. Again, conditions characterized by severity, sternness, or asceticism, austerities. I mean, this is the manage with the manage, cut according to the size. Let's go further before we even wait in here. The definition, Cambridge Dictionary. What do you say about austerity? Because life very simple. Life should not be so complicated. Austerity, the condition of living without unnecessary things and without comfort, with limited money or goods, or a practice, habit, or experience that is typical of this. You know, wartime austerity, for various reasons, government can look and say austerity measures. And I share these things with you guys because I want Sierra Leoneans to understand. When people like Francis Ben Kaifala, like I said again, I have the video, we'll go for Q Amnaya. Cashbox, what do you think? La play Francis Ben Kaifala first.
Absolutely. I mean, just on the point you're making about austerity, Ibrahim, I'm just about to send you a link, for make people, and this is why I love this live we do. I'm just about to send you a link of make people see when the UK end the austerity.
Okay.
They literally end their austerity like in September 2019. This was, and they were under austerity since 2007. If you remember when we had a downturn in the world economy.
Right.
On austerity since 2007, I think, or no, 2010. I can't remember. So I just sent you a link. Okay. When the chancellor at the time, or the finance minister at the time in the UK, which is Sajid Javid, he announced the end of austerity in 2019. These people were under austerity from 2007 till 2019. We don't really get with basic things and what we need. In fact, we don't even know. We don't even notice because life was going on. Can you imagine, Ibrahim, if these people are trying to badmouth austerity during the APC days, but surely poverty rate did not increase during the time when they say if austerity was this bad, why did the UNDP or the World Bank, the IMF, not be announcing poverty rate was on the increase?
Right.
That's because austerity is not a bad thing. But anyway, let's just kind of play the video so people can see, some of these guys that they used to say and what they're saying now, how we actually contradict completely. These people do not have any credibility, to be honest. Over to you.
Absolutely. So folks, of course, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play this video of Francis Ben Kaifala, who is the current anti-corruption commissioner, which is more like the pro-corruption commissioner, because this guy is supporting corruption more than anything else. He has not prosecuted anybody. The game is open. The African Express, when you visit the African Express, it's right there. The first lady, all the investigations, nothing is going on. Look at all of that stuff, right? So we know Francis Ben Kaifala is not a credible man. And, it's just like in the United States of America. We didn't know we had so many racists until the election of Donald Trump. That's when we knew that we had a lot of racists in America, because they came out to manifest themselves, because they had somebody in whom they saw actual racism. And that is the same thing across the institutions in Sierra Leone, where you have a lot of these folks that are in charge of these government institutions. It was because another government was in power, whom they deem as, these are not our countrymen, these are not our tribesmen, these are not from the same region. So they were very firm, everything they stood up for. But now that their government is in power, they've been tested, they failed the test. So this is where people like Francis Ben Kaifala comes in. And so let me show you guys the video of Francis Ben Kaifala, who is the current anti-corruption commissioner. I'm going to give him that because that's the title. But this was what he was saying under the days of the APC. Where is he now? This government has raised fuel prices over 4 times, almost 4 times, if I'm not mistaken. But watch this man now. He's quiet. Nowhere to be seen. Probably these guys are all on holidays. Probably they're in America. Probably they're in London. Probably they're in Dubai. Who knows, right? They're all on holidays, enjoying, having a good time. But where is Francis Ben Kaifala now? Check this out, guys.
Good morning, patriots. My name is Francis Ben Kaifala, and I am Renaissance. The Sierra Leone Renaissance movement has called on fellow Sierra Leoneans to wear black on Monday. We call it Black Monday. It's a Monday where we are supposed to show our dissatisfaction at the way the country has been run. Since independence to date, the Sierra Leonean has had a life that is less than what we would desire. We wake up in the morning worrying about the basic things that the rest of the world has forgotten. We worry about electricity, we worry about water supply, we worry about food, we even worry about security. Successive governments have failed us. This is the time for the Sierra Leonean to refuse to accept less and request more. We have to show our leaders that poverty is not a way of life. It is something which is man-made, and men all over the world have fought to change it. In Sierra Leone, it seems things cannot get better. Why? Why do people vote governments? Governments are voted to make the lives of their people better. If they cannot make their lives better, then that is a failure of social contract. And when there is a failure of social contract, the counterparties, in this case, who are the people, need to demand from their governments that what is done is not what was agreed. We have to stand up for what we believe in. We cannot accept this way of life. We have to reject it. In recent times, the economy has been destroyed. Inflation is galloping. The dollar has moved from 4,300 leones in 2013 to 7,300 leones in 2016. Inflation is something around 12.5%. Few days ago, even fuel, which underscores the basic movement of people to engage in economic activity, has moved from 3,750 leones to 6,000 leones. Why? How do they expect people to live? That is why we in the Renaissance movement are calling on Sierra Leoneans to wear black. The black is to show that the colors that have led us have failed us. Now in Sierra Leone, black is the new red. We are not ready to accept less. I thank you.
Okay. So, Cash, before we even go into that, because Sierra Leoneans, the problem that we've had in Sierra Leone, and that is the vacuum that some of us are feeling, is because we have noticed that these guys, they think our memory span is so short that we don't remember a lot of these things. And that is why we're going to call them out. The APC government announced austerity measures. But Cash Box, I'm going to shock you. Let me show you somebody else that was, speaking up about the austerity measures of the APC. And then I'm going to let you come in so we can show these graphs, talk about the prices across the world, the world market and all that stuff, and how you can actually see that this government actually, this is an attempt to continue to rob us blind and continue to take advantage of the masses. That might mean na Dovecot. That might mean a Congo market. That might mean where they in that small market behind where they sell pepper, sell patch granite for taking care of. Businesses are shutting down. Businesses are closing down. People are leaving the country because these guys are suppressing and oppressing people to pay higher taxes. And these taxes do not even reflect on the people. The taxes don't go back to the people. So what is happening in the country is these guys are only just, it's like they're cake and boss man. All man they ship na sheba. Now in the Depan, there's no plans. When I look across the country, there is no plans. These guys have given up. They know they're gone. All man say, me man, I'm sorry, this is for you too. That is what this whole thing is about. But this is a man, Julius Spencer. The reason is we want to help some of these guys, because the archives are there. We want to help them to realize that, hey, listen, you were saying these things the other time when the other government was in power, right? We're not going to go into the history of this man, but we're just pointing out the fact that this was an article back in 2016, October 9th, when Julius Spencer wrote this article on the Sierra Leone Telegraph. So I want to present this to you so you guys can see, because we want to call these people so these people will remember you know, what they said, and so they can come and highlight us, you know, educate us again, highlight these issues so that we can have a better understanding. Because if anything, Cashbox, the APC government was honest with us. They were honest with us to come out and say, hey guys, we're going to make these measures. But these guys are lying, and they're going to radio and lie, say how the fuel company, the government actually has been trying also increase prices. The fuel company then said it for increased price, but the government is trying to suppress that. These guys have taken all the subsidies away. Education, fuel, you know, prices of goods and basic commodities, them rice prices, all those stuff are increasing every day. But this is Julius Spencer. Let me read this article from Julius Spencer in 2016. Today, I was going to continue my discourse on changing our political system, but I've decided to suspend this and come back to it next week because of the austerity measures that the government announced recently. Yes. Let me get these over here. Okay. Guys, if you want to track with me, this is where I'm at. All right. So yes, indeed, austerity has arrived again in our land after having been banished some years ago. And we are indeed in for some tough times. All right, we go back now. I noticed that everyone is talking about the measures that were announced through a State House release a few days ago. But be assured that the release does not tell the whole story. Now, it focused on the cost-saving measures that the government intends to take and does not say anything about the fact that the government subsidy on fuel is going to be removed, which will lead to an increase in fuel prices and consequently an increase in oil prices. Right? We have already experienced an increase in electricity tariff and addition of GST onto electricity charges. But if we think times are hard now, Cashbox, yeah, I can assure you that the worst is yet to come. And we all need to brace ourselves for a period of intense hardship. This is Julius Spencer speaking. Where are they now? That is why they ask, say, where are these people? So let's continue. And those of us who lived through the hardships of the 1980s and 1990s with fuel queues, rice queues, etc., are dreading what is to come. Yeah, bruh. Anyway, the hypocrisy that we come to catch us. Guys, I don't want to keep going on and on. Guys, just visit, you know, just type austerity measures in Sierra Leone, Julius Spencer. This article is going to come up, you know, and then you'll take it from there. But Cashbox, this is the society that we have. Where is this man? Where is Julius Spencer? Is he going to come out here and talk to us?
Ibrahim, seriously, this team can kill me, man. Seriously, they can kill me. You know, Julius Spencer, according to an article you've just read, they say they don't pull all the subsidy. This even indicts this president or this government even more. Until we say they pull all the subsidy, but yet when the last government pulled all the subsidy, it cost the people 6,000 leons. Why now, until we say austerity no day back, it can go 10,000 leons? Ibrahim, you know the weird thing, Naya? I just sent you a link.
Right.
I'll go back to like the charts for oil prices. When the last government began a power, you know, there was a boom in like oil prices. The oil price for the years, like I remember, like I think it went to like $125 per barrel when APC began a power. But yet still, they only increased them when 2016 to 6,000 leons. That is because these guys were and this not only they propagate or talk or defend the APC. What we are saying here now for expose these guys their lies. You know, the chart I sent you.
Right, I'm about to put it up.
It went up to I can tell you exactly what it is. $131 like in 2008. But yet still the last government kept it at 3,700 as his man Kaifala may tell me. Look here, Brian. Like as I talk to you right now, in 2012, it went to $100. This is not the world price. The crude price per barrel. Because now that's the tell we say the price when they charge people in a salon, it floats. It's like a floating right now that they charge people. You see, unfortunately, not so we all go read graph. But if you look at the trend at which it did, like in 2008, it was $100 per barrel.
Right.
In 2013, it was like $107 per barrel. All these things. But yet still, the last government kept this price at, let me say 6,000, as Francis Ben Kaifala said. Let me use the maximum. And then, according to this article you just read about Julius Spencer, it's how we say they don't tell the old story because the price they take away all the subsidies. The last government take away all the subsidies, but the maximum the price. And look, salon people. At the time when this last government take away all the subsidy, according to Julius Spencer, they still kept it at 6,000 leones per liter. So this government, they tell me back, say they don't take away all the subsidy, and then the oil price na the world markets don't go down. But yet still they are increasing it way above waiting them they charge 4 years ago. Sierra Leoneans, I don't know. Sometimes, Ibrahim, I don't know. These people like Francis Ben Kaifala, is the reason why some people are doubting us, and again, right for think that way, because they will be like, you know what, Francis Ben Kaifala don't talk persona, or they don't talk the same thing, and they have every reason for think that way. But like you and I know, even before we can do we join to do them, we cannot say no, yes, because as communicator can tell we, they say no worry, and they hold me gun bear on her back. Because how can I sit back and say, Ibrahim, we fought for this, and now you're doing something completely different? How can you sit back and say, oh, Cashbox, this is what we were saying, and you're doing something completely different? It is sad. Now, waiting they annoy me. Now the fact that, as I tell you, Ibrahim, and I make mention of Nami audio earlier today, like 8,500 was the price of fuel, like the time, like 2019,
right?
And they kept it at 8,500 leones, right? It was $75 per barrel. 90 if trade na the world market, and it's the same price today as I talk to you right now. So what has changed? As I say to you, like when we were having a convo earlier, I say to you, now two things. Now wickedness, when we include witchcraft and all that in it, and these guys, because they're increasing taxes, because they just release the revenue collection, it's the answer. This is the reason why they're transferring the burden over to it. Just like for make mama and papa dinner host, then Italian Pekin say, and I'm sorry for use this word, but we've seen it now in society. He say Italian girl Pekin say teen tranga, and let them provide for you, go not it and go useless yourself. As painful as it sound. But this is exactly the Combrano want to take up responsibility. It is before that it take away all the subsidy. They include taxes. You make mention of the Korean guy that killed himself. Why? Because they levy heavy taxes at this guy. So the guy had no choice but for taking life. These are some of the things we're talking about. Over to you, Ibrahim.